The auditorium was silent, except for the faint hum of ventilation units hidden in the walls. Rows upon rows of cadets sat in rigid formation, every back straight, every hand pressed neatly against the exam console in front of them. The Galactic Academy of Security was the most prestigious training ground in the Orion sector. Its motto was simple: identify, evaluate, neutralize. Today's examination was the most critical one of all, the threat recognition trial. General Urett, a veteran of 43 campaigns, and a being whose chitin bore the scars of countless battles, stood at the front of the room. His compound eyes scanned cadets, each of whom carried the nervous tension of prey animals awaiting a predator's leap. "This," he began, voice vibrating through the translation grid, "is not a test of your memory. It is a test of your instincts. In the field, hesitation costs lives. Wrong judgments doom fleets. Your task: identify the greatest threat in the scenario before you." The hollow projectors flared to life. Images, simulations, and dossiers flooded the room with glowing light. Dozens of potential threats materialized: armored cargo berserkers, plasma-slinging Trisk raiders, volatile biochemical warheads, and the haunting profiles of infamous warlords whose names were curses in a dozen systems. The cadets studied, whispering in hushed tones, scanning the data for what they thought would be the obvious danger. But in row 3, a young human woman sat with her chin resting lightly on her hand, her expression unreadable. Her name was Lieutenant Elena Vera, one of only 3 humans admitted to the Academy's current cycle. Most species thought her presence a political stunt. Humanity was still young in the galactic stage, still underestimated. Her eyes swept the simulation. She tapped her console once, then folded her hands again, waiting. Around her, the cadets worked feverishly. A Scoury pointed his claw at the Trisk warlord profile, muttering that the kill ratio was astronomical. A Vran cadet hissed, certain the biochemical warhead was a true threat. It could level entire continents in seconds. Others marked the towering cargo berserkers, whose savagery was legend. The timer pulsed down, seconds evaporating into silence. At last, General Urett hissed, "Submit." Dozens of talons, claws, and appendages tapped their consoles. One by one, their answers locked into place. The general gestured, and the display shifted to reveal the distribution. 83% had chosen the biochemical warhead. 11% had chosen the berserkers. The remainder were scattered between the warlords and raiders. Only one answer was different. Only one cadet had selected something outside the presented options. General Urett tilted his head, antennae twitching. Row 3. Human. Lieutenant Vera. Explain yourself. Every gaze in the hall turned toward her. Elena stood slowly, her posture calm, her voice steady, as though she had been expecting this moment. "The correct answer," she said, "is me." A ripple of laughter and disbelief passed through the cadets. Even the general's mandibles clicked in irritation. "Explain." Carefully, Elena's eyes moved across the glowing projections, then settled on the general himself. Every scenario presented was a decoy. The warheads, the berserkers, the warlords, they are threats, yes, but they are predictable threats. They are known quantities. You already know how to counter them. But there is one element in this room that none of you considered, the unpredictable variable. A human. Silence fell. The cadets stared at her as if she had spoken madness. She continued, her voice unwavering. "Humans don't win because we are the strongest or the fastest or the most advanced. We win because no one ever predicts what we'll do. We improvise. We break rules. We make weapons out of scraps, turn disasters into victories, and keep fighting when logic says we should already be dead. If you want to identify the greatest threat in this room, look no further than the one species whose behavior you cannot chart on a probability graph. That's me. That's us." General Urett's mandibles stopped moving, his compound eyes fixed on her for a long, tense moment. He remembered the reports, the battles on frontier worlds where small groups of humans had turned unwinnable situations into bloody triumphs. He remembered watching human soldiers jury-rig alien technology into weapons in the middle of firefights. He remembered the words whispered across command councils: "Do not underestimate Earthborn. But the cadets did not understand. The Scourie scoffed openly. She names herself a threat? Absurd arrogance. The Vran sneered, humans are fragile mammals. Soft skin, brittle bones. She would not last a breath against a berserker. Elena's lips curved into the faintest smile. Then perhaps you should try. The general's antennae flicked once, sharp. Enough. Cadet Vera, your audacity borders on insolence. He paused. And yet, your logic holds merit. He gestured, and the hollow projector shifted again. New feeds played across the walls. Real battle recordings, not simulations. In one. A squad of humans with nothing but rifles held a canyon choke point against 3 times their number, improvising explosives out of fuel cells. In another, a single downed human pilot uses ejected cockpit module as a decoy to ambush an enemy gunship. And in the last, an unarmed human medic disarmed and killed a Trisk raider with nothing but a scalpel. Murmurs rippled through the cadets. Their earlier certainty wavered. General Yurt's voice was low, almost reverent. The lesson you must learn is this. The obvious threats are never the deadliest. The true danger often sits in row 3, silent, underestimated, waiting. Lieutenant Vera identified herself correctly, not as arrogance, but as recognition of truth. When facing humans, the battlefield itself will betray you. What you expect will not happen. What you dismiss will kill you. For the first time, the cadets looked at Elena not with ridicule, but with something colder. Wariness. Fear. Elena sat back down, her hands calm against the console. She did not gloat. She did not need to. The silence of the hall was enough. The exam concluded. Scores flickered across the consoles. Most cadets had passed, but only one had earned the highest distinction. Threat recognition, perfect insight. General Yurt dismissed them, but as they filed out, many glanced at row 3, stealing cautious looks at the human who declared herself the greatest danger in the room. Some glared in resentment. Others studied her, as though trying to memorize her every feature, as though she might already be mapping how to end them in combat. When the hall was nearly empty, the general approached her. His mandibles clicked softly, his voice pitched low so only she could hear. You understand what you've done here, human? Elena met his compound eyes. Yes, sir. I painted a target on my back. The general's antennae twitched, an insectal approximation of amusement. Correct. They will fear you now, and in fearing you, they will respect you, perhaps even learn. That is what humanity brings to this galaxy, not brute force, not superior weapons, but the reminder that the most dangerous enemy is the one you never accounted for. Elena's expression didn't change, but in her chest, a quiet flame burned. She hadn't taken this exam for glory. She had done it for every human dismissed as weak, fragile, or unworthy. Today, she had shown the galaxy's finest cadets the truth. Humanity was not just another species in the ledger of war. Humanity was the wild card. And in war, the wild card always changed the game.